The sun was bleeding gold over the red mesas when the riders of the Black Mesa gang thundered into the canyon. Dust rose like smoke, and at their head rode Cole Maddox, the man they called the Outlaw Chief. His black duster flapped behind him, his expression carved from stone. People said Cole had no heart left, only the memory of a brother gunned down by soldiers and a bitterness that ran deeper than the canyon walls. That evening, they found her, a young Apache woman, wrists bound in iron shackles, half hidden beneath a broken wagon at the edge of the desert. Her dark eyes met Cole's for the briefest moment before she lowered her head. The air grew tense. Even the wind seemed to hush. "Leave her," growled one of the men. "She's trouble." "Apache." But Cole dismounted, his boots crunching against dry earth. The girl flinched as his shadow fell over her. "Who did this to you?" he asked quietly. She didn't answer. The only sound was the clink of chains as she tried to pull away. Cole knelt, inspecting the crude metal cuffs. "Army issue," he muttered. "They left her to die." The others shifted uneasily. "Boss, we can't keep her. You know what they'll say if we're seen ridin' with." Cole's glare cut the word short. "Get the wagon ready," he said. "She's coming with us." And just like that, the outlaw known for his ruthlessness did something no one expected. He chose mercy. That night, under a sky jeweled with stars, the campfire crackled between outlaws who didn't know what to make of their new companion. The girl sat near the flames, silent, her shackles glinting orange. She had a wild beauty, fierce and still like the land itself, but there was fear in her stillness. Cole approached with a canteen. "Drink," he said, handing it to her. She hesitated, studying him with wary eyes. Then she took it, sipping slowly. After a long silence, she spoke, her voice soft but strong. "Why? Why what? Why free me? You are white man." Cole looked into the fire. "Maybe I've done enough taking for one lifetime." Her eyes softened, if only slightly. "My name is Taya," she said. He nodded. "Cole." It was the first time his men had ever seen their leader smile, just a flicker, but enough for the others to glance at one another in disbelief. Days passed. The gang laid low in a hidden canyon, but the peace was thin. Some of the men didn't like having her there. They whispered when Cole wasn't listening. "She'll bring soldiers down on us. She's cursed. She ain't one of us." Cole heard them all, but his jaw only tightened. Something about Taya had stirred something buried deep in him, something he thought he'd lost when the world turned cruel. Taya worked without complaint. She gathered wood, mended clothes, even tended a wounded horse that most of the men had given up on. She spoke little, but when she did, her words carried the calm of the desert wind. One evening, Cole returned from a scouting ride to find her standing alone on a ridge, her wrists still marked where the shackles had rubbed her skin raw. The last rays of sunset turned her hair to copper. He stopped a few paces behind her. "You shouldn't wander alone. It's dangerous." She turned, a faint smile ghosting her lips. "I was not afraid." "That's what scares me," he said softly. For a heartbeat, something unspoken passed between them, a recognition of pain, of survival, of something neither dared name. It was dawn when the sound of hoofbeats shattered the quiet. "Riders!" one of the men shouted. Cole's hand went to his gun as a dozen cavalry soldiers poured into the canyon. Smoke and gunfire filled the air. "Take cover." The outlaws scattered, rifles cracking. Cole saw the familiar blue coats of the army. Men who had once hunted him, men who had once put chains on people like Taya. He caught sight of her ducking behind a rock, terrified but holding steady. And something in him snapped. He rode straight into the fray, gun blazing, not for gold, not for revenge, but to protect the woman he'd freed. By the time the dust settled, the soldiers had retreated, leaving 3 outlaws wounded. Cole dismounted, his chest heaving, scanning for Taya. She ran to him, her dark eyes wide. You stayed," she whispered. "Didn't plan on leaving you," he said with a half-smile. "Guess we're both bad at doing what we're told." The fight had changed everything. Some of his men left that night, claiming the gang was finished. But Cole didn't care. The others could chase gold and fear. He was done with both. Taya stayed. She helped dress wounds, her touch gentle, her voice quiet. When she finally slept, it was near the fire, close enough that the warmth reached them both. Weeks passed, and the canyon grew into a strange kind of home. They hunted, traded with travelers, even found laughter again. But word spread. Rumors of an outlaw chief protecting an Apache woman reached the towns. The army would come again. One evening, Cole found Taya sitting by the river, watching the water catch the light. "You could still run," he said quietly. "I could get you to the hills. You'd be safe there." She looked up at him. "And you?" He shrugged. "I stopped being safe a long time ago." She rose and stepped closer. "You freed me from chains," she said, her voice trembling. "But I am not free without the one who broke them." Her words hit him harder than any bullet. When the soldiers returned weeks later, Cole didn't fight. He rode out alone to meet them, hat low, hands empty. Taya watched from the ridge, heart hammering. "Cole Maddox," the captain called. "You're wanted for robbery, assault, and harboring a fugitive. Stand down." Cole raised his hands. "You've got me," he said. "But the girl's innocent. You leave her out of this." The soldiers bound his hands, leading him away. He didn't resist. From behind, a voice rang out. "Wait." Taya ran down the hill, holding something in her hands, the broken shackles he'd cut from her wrists. She dropped them at the captain's feet. "He is not Outlaw," she said fiercely. "He is the man who chose mercy when all others chose hate." The captain hesitated, glancing at Cole. The chains clinked softly in the wind. Finally, he spoke. "Take him to Red Rock. We'll see what mercy's worth there." Months later, winter came early. Snow blanketed the canyons, and word spread through nearby towns that the outlaw chief was serving time rebuilding the Red Rock outpost, a compromise arranged by a sympathetic marshal. And one morning, as the frost shimmered on the horizon, a woman arrived. Wrapped in a blanket of soft deerskin, she carried a small bundle of food and medicine. "Taya," Cole breathed, stunned to see her through the prison gates. "I told you," she said gently, her smile small but sure. "I am not free without you." He grinned for the first time in years. "You shouldn't have come. Then who would remind you that mercy still lives in this world?" The guard, moved by the sight, turned away to give them a moment. They stood close, the wind tugging at their clothes, snow melting on their faces. "You could start over," Taya whispered. "When this ends, there is land beyond the canyon, untouched by hate. We could build something there." Cole looked at her, really looked, at the woman once feared, now the one person who had taught him that forgiveness was stronger than chains. "I reckon I'd like that," he said softly. "By spring, Cole's sentence was done." The marshal, a man of quiet faith, handed him back his hat and gun belt. "Don't make me regret this," he said. Cole tipped his hat. "You won't."